Hey everyone, this is Alexander with DIY Metar. So I've gotten a couple questions about what exactly comes in the kit and what you should do as soon as you get your kit in. So it's going to come in a box like this. So this is our 25 light DIY Metar kit. And so it'll come in the mail, come with your shipping label over the top. And so the first thing you want to do when you get it is you want to make sure that it works. And so we'll plug it in and we'll do a little test real quick. So when you open the box, we're gonna have our instructions, our disclaimer, DIY Metar maps are not a replacement for a full weather briefing, and then instructions. All this is also going to be available on the website as well. If you have any questions, go to DIYmetar.com. So when you unbox your kit, set the instructions aside. So you're going to have three main components. You're going to have the lights, you're going to have the power plug, and you're going to have the hub. Get that off there. Let you get a peek at that. So I'm going to go ahead and set this box aside over here. So that's all that comes in the box. So we designed it to be as simple as possible. And so when you first get it, you're going to want to go ahead and plug it in and test it. And this is probably the most exciting part, is when you actually get to see the lights. So we're going to connect it in. Lights are connected to the hub. I'll flip that around so you can read it. We're going to connect the power plug in, and then we're going to plug it in. And so it's going to go through a test cycle now. Green, yellow, blue, red, and pink. And so what we're looking is to make sure all these LEDs are on. Perfect. So now that we know that everything's working, we can go ahead and assemble our map. Yep. So this is actually a good thing. So if you notice how they kind of went to a zigzag pattern with the blue and the red and the pink, so this means that it's ready for the Wi-Fi pairing. So now that we know it's working, we are ready to start constructing our map. So in our next video, we're going to go ahead and build a small map, a 25 light kit, and hopefully answer any questions you have. Hello everyone, Alexander with DIY Metar. This is going to be part 2, where we talk about some of the supplies that we're going to need to make our map. So we still have our kit, we just plugged it in, it's in pairing mode. So we can go ahead and unplug that for now. We're not going to need it. So we'll go ahead and unplug that. We're going to move it over to the side. So in this video, we're going to talk a little bit about what all you're going to need. So you're going to need a frame, which is purchased separately. You can go to Michael's, Hobby Lobby, Walmart. This is just, a standard 10x8 frame. This is what we're going to be using today. Then you're also going to need your map. So this is just a printed off map. Great place to find these is like Sky Vector, or you can actually use a paper sectional chart. And so we just got this printed at, I believe, Walgreens or CVS. It's about 80 cents. So frame, $8 to $15 depending on the frame. And then the map itself, 80 cents to $1. You don't have to spend a ton of money. It doesn't have to be super thick. It can just be, standard picture, 10x8. A couple other things we're going to need. We're going to need some type of hole punch so that we're able to actually punch the holes into the map. We're going to need some adhesive So we'll actually use adhesive on the back. This, we'll stick it to inside the frame before we cut it. So some type of spray adhesive. A credit card or a window squeegee, something, so once we spray the adhesive on, we can kind of, you know, flatten it out. Okay, so we just took our adhesive and we sprayed it onto the cardboard that came with the frame, and then we used the squeegee. So now we got all the bubbles out. You know, if I was doing this, I'd press it down against something firm. All right, so we got all the bubbles out. Checking it, looks pretty good. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is we're gonna confirm we have a 25 light kit. So now we're gonna go pick our 25 airports, and we're gonna use the hole punch, and we're gonna punch through and make the hole all the way through, so that way we can mount the LED lights. So I'm gonna go do that, and I'll be right back. All right, so now we have successfully used our hole puncher, which is purchased separately. You could use anything really to cut through these. That's just so you can see which one I'm using. I'll post a link of it as well. Anyways, so we got our 25 holes punched through. Double check them, make sure that they're all good. Back side doesn't really matter, doesn't have to be super pretty. That front side's what we're really looking for. Because if you see, you can kind of see, the light will come in through the back, and you can kind of see it sticking out down there. So the next step is we're gonna combine everything together. So I guess we can go ahead and put this in the stand and see how, or in the frame and see how it looks. So put that in there. Get that little piece of cardboard out. So you can see it's starting to take shape. So in the next video, we will combine our 25 light kit from DIY Metar into the frame that we just brought. Hello again, Alexander with DIY Metar. We're now on the third step where we are going to actually start assembling this map. So what we're going to need for this is hot glue. So you can use, don't need a super fancy one, some type of hot glue, which is what we're going to use to secure the lights in here. You can also use super glue, Gorilla Glue, stuff like that. I find that the hot glue, just over time, works a lot better. So this is kind of difficult to film, so what I'm going to do is kind of show you what I'm doing, and then I'll hop off and get it set up, and then come back and explain everything. So I just took the LED, or the rubber band off the LEDs. So we got our strand of 25. And so basically, looking at this, we have to find the most efficient path for the LEDs to go through. And so you're gonna have to play around with this a little bit. So what I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start down here at the Sarasota and kind of weave the lights around and then have it end over here in Sebring. So I'm gonna go ahead and set up the LEDs and play with it a little bit, and then I will show it to you before I start gluing it. Okay, so what I did is I went ahead and I got these first couple started, you can see. And so I've already kind of test fit all the way around. Unfortunately, it wouldn't hold together without the glue, so I had to take it back apart. So now I'm going through and I'm actually doing the glue though. So you don't have to be very scientific with it. So each light is just going to get some glue all the way around. Make sure that it's nice and firm. And so if you get any of these little strands that come off, these are pretty easy to get off. All right, so now that you kind of understand that glue process, I'm gonna go through and I'm gonna finish gluing up the rest of these LEDs. All right, so we just finished hot gluing the LEDs to the back of the map. So we also have the controller, which is plugged in. It only goes one way, so you can't mess that up. And then I usually super glue these to the bottom. So this is actually, if you flip this over, this is the bottom of the map, just so the weight's kind of towards the bottom. So what we can do now is we can put it inside the frame. And so I'll secure that a little bit better later. Then I'm gonna flip that around, kind of set that down so you can see it. All right, and then we're gonna take it and we're gonna plug it in. And remember, we have not programmed it yet, so this should just go through the test cycle. Okay, green, yellow, blue, red, and pink. Perfect. So our map is now ready to be programmed because we haven't hooked it up yet to the Wi-Fi, so it's not able to pull the live weather. So now this is the fun part. So this is showing that it's ready for the Wi-Fi pairing. So we're gonna get out our instruction booklet. We're gonna flip to the back page. And so we're only using the 1 through 25 section. And so what we're gonna do is we're gonna have to flip it, we're gonna unpower it, flip it back over, and we have to record the code for each airport. So that way when we go through and program it, we have everything nice and neat. And so the number 1 airport, I'm gonna try to flip this over without breaking it. The number 1 airport is gonna be the one closest to the hub. So see how the wire's coming out of the hub? So this airport right here, which will be this one. So it looks like Sarasota is gonna be our first one. So then we'll write down, so it's gonna be, remember, they're 4-digit codes, so it's gonna be KSRQ. And so we'll write that down on the paper. And then the next step is going to be to get it all programmed. And that way it'll start pulling the live weather from the FAA website. So far looking really nice. Hey everyone, Alexander with DIY Metar. This is going to be part 4 of the series where we are actually going to start programming the map. So we got the map plugged in. We got everything buttoned up on the back. I just got some temporary cardboard just to kind of hold everything together. We got the kickstand glued on. You can see the hub in the back. So if you look on the back of the hub, I'll put the address. There's a specific web address where you can log in and you can program it. So if we reference the previous video, we got our instruction booklet out. And so we went through and we have all our airport codes. And remember, number 1 is going to be the one closest to the hub. Number 1 is closest to the hub. The number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, all the way down through 25. So we have all of that. Get that set back up. So now what we'll do is I'm going to switch over to the computer and actually show you how to program it. As you can see, it's this checkerboard pattern with the blue, pink, red. Obviously, this is not the real airport weather right now. We haven't hooked it up to the Wi-Fi. So this just means that it's in pairing mode. So if you get this pattern, you know, when you first start it up after you got everything assembled, don't panic. Now's the time where we're gonna program everything and get everything set up. All right, so now it's time to program the map. So with it in that pairing mode, you should get this DIY Metar setup network either on your laptop or your phone. So I'm going to go ahead and click that. We're connected. So now we're actually connected to the map. And then I'm going to go to this address, 192.168.4.1. And this is going to be how you program it. So if we come down here, we're going to put the network name. So this is my home network. We'll put the password. We'll put the airport codes. We'll put the brightness. I recommend starting off at 20. And then the max crosswinds until it turns yellow. So I'm a private pilot, single engine piston. I have a Piper Comanche. So my max crosswind component in my POH is 17 knots. So my personal maximum right now, I'm a newer pilot, I just put 15. And that way, if an airport has winds greater than 15 knots, it'll show up yellow on the map. If you don't want this feature, you know, you just don't want it, you can set it something like 50, and then it'll only show up yellow during a hurricane. So we'll go ahead and do that. And then so over here, as you can see, previous airports that I've coded in, we look at our list. So we're gonna type the first one in. So what is that? First, we're gonna turn caps lock on. So KSRQ, comma. And then our next one is St. Petersburg. And then so you're just gonna go all down the list and you're just gonna enter all your airport codes. And this is how you program it. Okay, once we have all our airport codes put in, we're gonna go down here and we're gonna click submit, and then we're gonna walk over to the map. Okay, and now we're going to wait for the map to program. So it takes about 30 seconds for the data to move over. All right, so it reset. It's gonna go through the test cycle. Okay, and then pink means it's trying to connect to the Wi-Fi. So it can take about usually 30 seconds to 60 seconds for it to connect. All right, we got this light down here, which means it connected to the server. Now it's downloading the weather. And voila, live weather. So every 5 minutes, it'll hop on the Wi-Fi and it'll download the weather from weather.gov. And it'll refresh. So I just want to say thank you for following along with the build for us. So as you can see, this is a 24-inch by 36-inch map of Florida that I made a couple weeks ago. It's doing really good. And then this is actually going to be a gift for one of our CFI friends. And you can see, you know, just kind of the size difference, try to get some ideas. So this kit So this one is the 50 light kit, and then this is the 25 light kit. And then we also have, you can pair, add on an additional 50 lights. So we could add even an additional 50 lights on to this one for 100 lights. And those are all available in the store. If you have any questions, feel free to contact us. Feel free to send us pictures of your map. We'll add them to the gallery. Thank you, and we appreciate all your support. Have a good day.